Hello, 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 and good morning to you. I am Angel Howard coming to you. Thank you for following me on my channels and my videos. Again, once again, my videos to our for the purpose to bring you encouragement, inspiration, and empowerment. And this is for men and women. However, I am writing a book right now. I'm very excited. And I just want to talk about, once again, the wounds of the child that becomes the man or the woman who still feels broken inside and have carried those wounds since childhood. This is really part two. I've talked about this briefly in a previous video on my channel, and this is also the reason why I'm writing this book is pretty much to talk about my life through my brokenness and my pain that I carried for so many years, which had caused a lot of problems in my life and with me. It really affected me spiritually. It affected me mentally. It affected me emotionally. It affected me in so many different ways. And if you don't heal from what has affected you on the inside, it will eventually suppress on the outside. Best believe that. And this is why I'm talking about this, because God has brought me to a place of healing, of newness inside. And you have to actually discover and acknowledge and accept the fact that you need to be healed. You have to put pride aside and allow healing to become your portion. And God is the healer. He can do it, but you have to open yourself up and ask God to heal you. You pray about things. You want things in your life to change around you, but it first starts with you. You have to change what's inside of you first to give you a whole new perspective of thinking. And when you are healed, it affects the way you think about yourself. It affects the way you think about people around you and the world you live in. When I was, young, I was in different relationships before I got married, and it was repeated broken hardships that I faced, and emotionally, it actually made me even view myself as not being worthy enough. And being a child without a father, I mean, if you are someone, and I'm talking to women right now and men who are broken still, but you're yet smiling and masquerading and functioning well. People can't even tell that you're hurting because you're covering it up. You're hiding. You're hiding it from the world, but it will eventually suppress. It will come through your character and your attitude and your personality. It will eventually come through. And sometimes it comes through in bitterness. It comes through being isolated from people. It comes through with being having anxieties. It comes through even having insecurities, having trust issues, especially with your mate or your relationship, and that could break a relationship. It can destroy your relationship when you do not have any security, if you're not secure within yourself, if you're not confident about yourself, if you don't have any self-esteem, if you don't think yourself as valuable, you'll be so busy worrying about what your mate is doing rather than worrying about what you're doing, or focusing on your goals, focusing on your accomplishments to make yourself better. Not so much of accomplishments, but focusing on your dreams, your visions, your talent, your gifts, your skills, that you're supposed to be using. You're supposed to be using that time to perfect that God has given you, instead of trying to figure out what your mate is doing, because those are the insecurities that are built, but you don't know that because you've carried these pain, these wounds, these different problems in your life from childhood, and that you didn't even really know it, and you didn't ask for that pain. You didn't ask to be in that situation or environment. Maybe you are a woman or a man that The father was in the house, maybe the father was in your home, but maybe there was a disconnect in the relationship. Maybe your father just worked and you never got a chance to see him much. You didn't have maybe an emotional connection to your father. Maybe your father never even hugged you. Maybe he never told you he loved you. Maybe he never gave you the love language that you receive and the love language that you need, to feel loved. So maybe your father was present, but he was still emotionally absent. Okay? Or maybe he just wasn't there altogether. Maybe your father left because of a destroyed or a really bad relationship between your mom and dad, and maybe the separation caused you to be away from your father. Okay, it divided the family, and it caused you to have to be separated from your dad. Maybe your dad wanted to be in your life, but the maybe your mom did not want you to be around your father for whatever reason. I'm just keeping it real. These are real life situations, and this is why I'm transparent with my life and my story, because it's real. I'm at liberty, and I have the courage to talk about these things with no shame, no fear, because when you are healed inside, you don't have those blockages of fear and shame. Because God is within you, and when you are called to do something, He takes that away from you. It's unexplainable. But once again, I'm going back to that. When your father is not in your life and present for whatever reason, if he's in prison, maybe you never got a chance to meet your father. Maybe you don't know who your dad is. Maybe your father died when you were young. Maybe your father died throughout your growing up, your adolescence, or your teenage years, or a young woman. Maybe there was some disconnect. Okay. Maybe he just wasn't present for whatever reason. But once again, it may have not affected every woman in this world, but to some degree, it can affect you. And to those women who it has deeply affected, where it has emotionally affected you and made you believe that you were not worthy enough. It made you lower your standards. It made you look in the wrong places for love. You're looking for love in the wrong places, and what you view as love is not considered love. Maybe if you've given your body up, maybe if you've given sex to a man who a guy that you really love and you like, and he doesn't care much about you, but he only wants the sex. He only wants your body. You're lowering your standards, or you're staying in that relationship, that abusive relationship, only for the sake of being wanted or desired, but you're not really getting that because you're broken inside, because you don't know who you are. You don't know your worth to even know who you want in your life or who you need. When you are broken, you do not need to join in partnership with a mate, because you have to first fix yourself. And I'm not bringing judgment on anybody, because I've gone through my own personal situations in life in my past. I've gone through that. I know what it feels like. It hurts bad. You want love so bad from somebody, and they just can't give it to you, because you have to understand, a person does not complete you. A person cannot feel what you have lacked and voided in your life. You can only get that from God. Only God completes you. Okay. And so, you have, when you are healed, God will give that man on that person for you. But that relationship isn't to complete you, and it isn't to heal you. You don't find a mate just for your needs. A mate is there for you to enhance the beauty within you. You both are enhancing each other's goals. You are in connection. You are enhancing each other's accomplishments. You are encouraging and supporting one another. It's an enhancement. Okay? And so what I want you to know, that be encouraged through it all, because a man that will not give his life for you is not a man that you should give your body to. Once again, if you give your body to a man, what are you getting out of that if he will not give his life to you? Think about it. All right, I want you to be encouraged. Be blessed and stay tuned. If you like my video, please share, please like, and please subscribe. Thank you for listening, and you have a blessed day. Love ya.